Welcome back to Theresa.is.Dead. My name is Theresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful garbage mouth where I tend to use fuck as a comma. If you're not into that or weird shit in general, bitch, this is not the place for you. Feel free to exit the video here, no harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. If you want to jump straight to the overall review of the products, I'll leave a time code down below. Feel free to jump ahead. Guys, I had the best conference room meeting the other week. It was like perfection. I had the pleasure of not only sitting in the meeting with my favorite coworker Bob, but I also had the pleasure of meeting a new coworker. Let's call him Frank. Frank is a barrel of fucking laughs, let me tell you. And Frank is gonna give Bob a little run for his money. In any case, I had the pleasure of sitting across from Bob, where I watched for pretty much the whole entire meeting, watched him try to drink water, but somehow miss his mouth every fucking time. And then he brought out a small bag of peanuts, kind of like similar to airline peanuts. He opened it up and he started throwing the peanuts in the air, trying to catch them with his mouth. Fortunately, he doesn't have great coordination, so every peanut, instead of landing in his mouth, bounced off another piece of his fucking face and onto the carpet, where then somebody would start moving their wheelie chair over it and then somehow smash peanut bits all onto the carpet. And no wonder why the cleaning people hates our office so fucking much. In any case, the facilitator of the meeting, I guess, wanted to make it doesn't even matter what the meeting was about. But the facilitator was talking about something, and then Frank rudely interrupted her.
I got a great idea.
He jumps up out of his chair. Now, in our conference room, there's a large table, a lot of wheelie chairs, and then on all the walls are giant TVs, like giant flat screen TVs. Keyword, TVs. He jumped up out of his chair like a fucking rocket and ran over to the TV screens that are in this conference room. And he started to kind of point at the TV screens and then ultimately tried to drag certain things from one side to the next. And he did this for about 35 seconds. And he didn't stop. He was so adamant about taking this thing and moving it over here. So of course, me and my coworkers are pieces of shit. We're not gonna correct him because this is amazing and this is the only entertainment we have in the meeting besides Bob bouncing nuts off his face. Finally, the facilitator chimed in and said,
Frank, it's not a touchscreen, it's a television. That's why you can't move things.
That would explain it.
So then he sits back down and the meeting resumes. So now we're about to end the meeting, and again, the facilitator asks some sort of rhetorical question. This, again, excited Frank. He jumps up out of his chair, runs back to the television, and starts trying to drag certain things from one part of the screen to the next. And this time, we all just watched him for about a good 90 seconds this time, because I don't think anybody believed that this man could forget that he was just called out in front of everybody that this was not a touchscreen. And these are the people I work with. In any case, the facilitator finally said,
Frank? Yeah, again, that's not a touchscreen, it's a television. That's why you're not able to move things.
I forgot.
He sits back down. Bob then looks at him and says,
Happens to me all the time.
It's like, of course it fucking does. Of course, you fucking idiots. Needless to say, I don't even know what happened at the remainder of the meeting because I just kept staring at Frank and Bob just doing this, trying to figure out which one is stupider. I don't even think I have the proper know-how to actually even measure that. Jury's still out. I don't know. In any case, that was my day. How was yours? On today's video, we're going to be talking about the ColourPop Orange You Glad somewhat sort of collection. But before I give you my overall thoughts, let me read you a little bit about the product first. Orange You Glad Shadow Palette retails for $12. You know we had to bring the zest. Our new orange 9-pan palette is here and ready to deliver all the looks. Featuring all brand new shades in 6 mattes, 2 metallics, and 1 pressed glitter. You'll be set all summer long. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palette first. I find it really funny that either ColourPop bugged my apartment or they're constantly listening to me yell about things on the internet. But didn't I just say that I wanted an orange palette? Poof. About 2 weeks later, it fucking appears. Coincidence? I don't think so. In any case, I was very, very excited to see this because I am on a quest for orange. Maybe it's because I'm celebrating Halloween in my head. I just want to be bathed in orange. I want to look like a creamsicle at all times. So I was super excited to see that they launched this little guy. And much like the other monochromatic palettes, this guy retails for $12. You get it in this nice weird plastic bullshit case. Has very cute font. It's
Aren't you glad?
which I thought was pretty cute. You have all your shades on the back here. You get a nice size mirror and you get your 9 shades. Here is my beef with it. I used all of the shades with the exception of the pressed glitter Clementine because I just didn't want to fuck up my day. But I am going to swatch it though in the back of my hand. It's very pretty. It's super pretty, and it's kind of reminiscent of the yellow pressed glitter that was in the Honey palette. I should just swatch the two. They definitely look so pretty together. It's just a shame that I'm never going to fucking wear them because I'm too old and fat to go to a festival and wear glitter all over my fucking face. Honestly, it really annoys me that I feel like all future monochromatic palettes are going to have a pressed glitter in them, and automatically it gets points off just because of that, because it's something that they're putting in the thing that is not eye safe. I know people technically still use it. I ain't trying to fuck up my face more so than what I do on a normal basis, so I'll pass on that. I almost wish that they put a duochrome in there in place of that, because then this palette would be perfection. The rest of the palette is fantastic. I love it. It's super good. I love the mattes. I love the shimmers. I actually think I like the mattes a little bit more than the shimmers. The shimmers are fine. They're definitely on the crumblier side. I feel like when they're applied dry, they look okay, but when you apply it with some setting spray, it's perfect. Overall though, they kind of look almost a little similar in my opinion. So Tangerine Dream and then Squeeze Me. There is a little bit of a difference between the two of them, but honestly though, I feel like they could have, I don't know, maybe chose a different orange. So when playing with both of these shimmers, I felt like they looked exactly the same when applied to the lid. So I didn't really like that too much. I almost wish that they took one of the colors out and they replaced it with another shimmer color. That would have been perfect, but whatever, I'm splitting hairs at this point. The mattes, on the other hand, are so nice. I found that there is some fallout, there is some kick up, especially when you come to the more saturated colors over here. This corally orange shade, this bright hot neon orange shade. So I find that if you were to do your eye makeup first, it would avoid a lot of trouble, but if you have to do your base first, I recommend either going in with a light hand or putting a shitload of powder underneath your eye just to try to catch some of that fallout. Because unfortunately the fallout is not easy to clean and it does leave like an orange swipe on your face that looks like somebody kicked the shit out of you. So
That's always fun.
I really had a good time with all the matte shades with the exception of the shade You Peel Me. You Peel Me is just not, it's just not good. It's nothing. It's so deceiving because it feels like it looks really dark, and on the lower lash line it looks really nice, but when you want to use this to deepen the outer corner, it's just not possible. You can't fucking do anything with it. And I think that was like my biggest complaint about this palette, is that I wish that shade was actually a darker orange color. I think that would have been pretty. However, at the lower lash line it's fine, but still it's kind of deceiving because you expect this kind of brown color, but it almost comes off like as a red color. Whatever. In any case, I really love the rest of the masks because I just thought they were just so unique and very
Very pigmented.
so fucking pretty. I love them. Honestly, they are so perfect for the season that we're in now, and I think I'm going to kind of continue using this palette well into the fall to look like a pumpkin queen every fucking day. What I love about this palette too is that yes, these colors are very bright, however they do not stain on me, which is fantastic, and it's very rare because I usually find that oranges do stain the shit out of me, but they don't. They worked very well with a wet concealer base. I had no problem blending them together, blending them out, building them up. I find that they are incredibly pigmented, so a little bit does go a long way, but I'm a psycho and I want to be seen from outer space, so I like to layer the fuck on it, but you really don't have to because the shadows are quite pigmented. I think out of all the little monochromatic palettes, this is becoming one of my top favorites. I actually think I like this one a little bit better than the yellow one. I know, who the fuck am I? I think this is also going to pair very nicely with the other monochromatic ones, the green and the yellow. I also have the blue palette, but I actually haven't even played with it yet. I think I'm just over blue eyeshadow. I'm pretty sure this one will work just as well with the blue one. The other thing I want to note about these eyeshadows is that they last for a very long time. I put my makeup on, I believe over the weekend at 7 a.m. It didn't take it off until well after midnight, and it looked fantastic. Like really fucking pretty. It looked as vibrant as it did at 7 a.m. in the morning. And that's what's really nice about ColourPop eyeshadows, I find in general, is that they do last for a very long time. So I'm a huge fan of this palette. I think it's fantastic. So other than the pressed glitter being kind of shitty and kind of omitting maybe one of the shimmer shades and perhaps wanting a darker brown shade, overall I think this is a really good palette, especially for the price point. So if you're looking for a really good array of oranges, I think you should look no further. You found it right here. And if you like the ColourPop formula, then you are aware of what you're getting. day. I think this is awesome. Honestly, I really enjoy this and I really love the looks that I created. Of course, for this video, I'm only showing you two, but I have been playing with this for a couple of days now and I have made a couple of different looks. And overall, the other thing I will say though is that when just using the eyeshadow palette alone, it's kind of hard not to make almost the same look over and over again. And I think it's just because these colors are super fucking bright. It's just like, what else could you possibly do with them, you know? However, I will note though that when you add like different color liners though, I feel like it kind of changes the overall look. So that's the one thing I will note, is that while this kind of does feel a little bit of the same, if you do pair this with a nice liner, it can change the whole overall feel of it. Is this a palette that I would say could be best used by itself? I don't think you're gonna get a good variety of looks with it. I feel like this is a really good companion palette. At a $12 price point, you can always find coupon codes for ColourPop to make this palette a little bit more cheaper, which at the end of the day is what we all want, cheaper eyeshadow. So with that said, I am a huge fan of this palette. I think it's spectacular. And I can't wait to just look like a pumpkin queen until the day I die. Orange Crush Blush Sticks Duo. Retails for $14. Brighten up your look with our newest blush and light sticks formula, including a peachy blush and a soft gold highlighter. So next thing I want to talk about are these blush sticks. This is the first time that I'm actually using this ColourPop product, so I was very intrigued, and honestly, I love me a good peachy blush. It's a very pretty peachy color. Very nice. Here's the thing that I like about the blush, so to speak, is that I think it's very pigmented, and I like that it kind of gives me like light wash of Campbell's Soup Kid. You know, it's not overly Annabelle doll. It's just enough to be like,
are you sick? You look flushed.
And I like that. It's actually a really pretty blush color. The only thing though is I found it kind of tricky that since it's a cream product, I have a tendency of not really using cream products. So as soon as I'm done with my foundation, I powder my face slightly and that's it. I've used this a couple of different ways. I found that the best way to apply this is actually with a CC cream or the Pat McGrath foundation, because being that those are a little bit more of like a wetter foundation, I found that this product really adhered to it. When I tried it with, say, like more of a medium coverage foundation that has a little bit of a dry down to it, it didn't necessarily move the foundation on my face, but I felt like I was just being extra careful about it because the stick is a little rough, so you kind of have to like warm it up a little bit in your hand and then kind of apply it that way. I found that patting it out with my fingers worked very well, and then I went over it with a little bit of a sponge. It was fine. It was very pretty. I like the light flush of it. Will I use this every day? Probably not, because I felt like, you know, comparing this to like say normal blush, I didn't feel like this saved me any time. If anything, it added more time to my routine, which is something that I don't want. And I was very just nervous about not picking up the foundation underneath this product. So I feel like there's a little bit of a trial and error with this, but overall though, when I have it down on my face, it's a very nice light wash of color. It's very pretty. I enjoy it. I think it's super cool. Will I ever buy this again? Probably not. I think, you know, as cute as this is, especially packaging wise, like holy shit, this is adorable. I don't think I could fuck with it. It was something that I had to get because it just the colors looked really nice, but in reality I didn't really need it. So whatever. Now the other one is the highlighter stick, and this one is actually in a gold color, which, you know, gold is not bad. Gold can tend to be a little bit darker on me. And kind of like the same thing with the blush, I felt like if I applied it too thick, I was going to be taking up the foundation off my face. So I was trying to be very mindful of that. Honestly, this highlighting stick is okay. It's not my favorite. It's a light wash of highlighter. It actually looks pretty good right here because I built it up a little bit. But that's the thing, it's like you have to build it up in order for it to like look like a little glowy alien slut. But it's not the full alien slut that I want. It's okay. Plus the color looks a little bit off on my skin tone. It makes me look a little jaundicey, so I'm not a fan of that. I really just don't like highlighter sticks in general because I find that the formula is too greasy and then it just winds up moving all kinds of shit all over my face. Not a fan. But this did apply better with more of like that wet foundation feel or like that CC cream. It just seemed to kind of meld into the skin a little bit better. It's not enough. Like I want more and I'm not able to get that with this stick. So it's kind of a pass for me. I don't think I'm ever going to pick up another one of these sticks again. You know, I'm basically just an old bitch. I just want what I want, and that is pretty much a powder highlighter. I don't want anything else. Or if I am going to use a liquid highlighter, it better be like the Glossier Play one. Like that one is straight up hot alien sex. I love it. Like take me to your leader so I can fuck them. Like I love that. This, take me to your leader so maybe I can give him a hand job.
Not the same feel.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think I'm ever going to pick this up again. So if you were on the fence about those, honestly, personally, I don't think they're worth it. You might as well just get like a powder product. But I know there are some people that probably swear by them, but they're just not my cup of tea. Actually, I will will leave this to you guys. If you have similar products or those products and you found a really good way of making them look really well, let me know. I feel like they looked pretty good with CC cream. I feel like it could have been better, so
let me know.
I'm curious. By the way, I'll zoom you right in, and the highlighter is just...
could be better.
Not from Concentrate So Juicy Duo retails for $12. Oh, we're freshly squeezed. Get our best-selling So Juicy glosses in these summer-ready shades. She's Here, a warm nude, and Vava Voom, a brightened tangerine with a soft golden sheen. Alright, so let's talk about the So Juicy glosses. These are fantastic. These are exactly like the other So Juicy glosses that I have in my collection. I love this one, I think a little bit more. She's Here. The orange one is Vava Voom, which is what I have currently on my mouth right now. The one thing I will say though is that these are fucking sticky. So while they look like wet glass on your face when you first apply them and they look really, really perfect, God forbid hair flies into your fucking mouth. It's like it gets stuck and then it drags across your face and then you have that gloss smear, you know, we all get. So fucking annoying. That's my only complaint about them, is that they're so juicy that they are a little bit messy. But when applied to the face, they actually kind of have like a little bit of a minty feel to them. Kind of like a fresh little toothpaste, so to speak. So they're actually a little tingly on my lips, but overall though, they're very pretty. So while these do not last for a very long time, they do leave a nice little shine when the product starts to dissipate from your mouth. Overall though, I think these are really fantastic. I believe individually they're $6 a piece, which I think is actually a really good price point for lip gloss in general, especially pretty lip gloss like this. Out of these two, my personal favorite is She's Here, which is more of like a nude gloss. This is just kind of fun, and you think it's going to be a lot brighter than what it is, but when you put this over lipstick, it doesn't really look orange after all. I think it maybe brightens up lipstick, but it doesn't have like an orange cast to it. You could wear these alone, and they look okay alone, but I like how they look over lipstick and liquid lipstick as well. So I'm happy that I got both of these guys. So I think out of the whole collection in a whole, I think you could skip out on the blush sticks. I really don't think they're that great. I think you should get the palette, and maybe if you don't want both of these glosses, I suggest maybe one of them, because I think in hindsight, had it not been a bundle, I would never really pick up this orange gloss. But now that I have it in my collection, I don't mind it. So it's kind of one of those things. So let me know down below if you have anything from this collection, if you're interested in getting anything from this collection. Are you over ColourPop? Whatever, let me know, because I love hearing from you guys. And on that note, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. It's free. And hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Discord. On Thursdays, we have a podcast called The Miserable 3, and I sometimes take over my husband's Twitch channel where I just yell about things on the internet. So if you want to see any of that stuff, all my information will be linked down below. I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye.